Now, friends, I want you to think about a few things. This name meaning that he gives life. Yah can mean he, and Huah can also mean life. So then you have YaHuWaH also, and that means life again, that he is life. And then we have the concept that many Christians have heard of Holy Spirit. Now, we call this the Ruach, which means spirit or wind or breath. Just a simple breath. HaKodesh, which means the set apart. So it is the spirit of the set apart one. Now, what we need to understand is YaHuWaH sustains all of life. However, not all of life contains the Ruach HaKodesh. They are different. However, all men have the gift that YaHuWaH has given them. And what I want you to think about is this, okay? In the name of YaHuWaH, we see, and you see before you, you see in the pictographic Hebrew, you see the hand. You see the right hand of YaHuWaH. Remember, Hebrew reads from right to left, not left to right the way that we read. But from right to left, you have the hand, the right hand of YaHuWaH. YaHuWaH tells us that he saves with a mighty right hand. He brought his people out of Egypt, Mitzrayim, with a mighty right hand. David tells us over and over in the Psalms that he was in distress, but YaHuWaH saved him with a mighty right hand. That he wouldn't leave his soul in the grave, but he would deliver him with a mighty right hand. So we have to understand that YaHuWaH has said that his mighty right hand brings forth salvation. And that the Son, as you see right next to the hand, there's a man. And this is clearly the image of the Messiah. If you read the book of Acts chapter 2, when the Ruach comes upon the people, the Spirit of YaHuWaH comes upon the people, he tells them the first thing you must do is call on the name of YaHuWaH. Just like Romans chapter 10 tells us. And then in Joel chapter 2, it's all echoed. 3 times we see this verse, okay? It's very important. So then we see also that after they call the name of YaHuWaH, they must understand that Messiah has come in the flesh, that he has been crushed, and that he is rose and sit at the right hand of YaHuWaH. This is all in Acts chapter 2, and I want you to go read that because it's very important and essential for salvation. So the Messiah is sitting at the right hand of YaHuWaH, and then this next letter is a waw, or what we call waw. Some people call it a u. You could hear some people call it vav, but the letter V was not in the ancient Hebrew. That comes from the Ashkenazi dialect of Hebrew, or what people have called the European Jewish dialect. Okay, so that doesn't exist. But this letter is a word in Hebrew, and it's always used when dealing with the priests, dealing with the sacrificial animals. It will say hook in your Hebrew, in your versions. It'll say they use the hooks to pull the sacrifices and to cook them and do these various things. But it's a wall, and it's a picture of the nails that were stuck in the hands and the feet of our Messiah when he was hung on a tree. He was the perfect sacrifice for the sacrificial system. And then we see the next letter that this man has resurrected, that he's come forth again, that he existed, he pre-existed according to the book of Micah, that he came, that he died, and that he lives again, that he's been resurrected. And it's all in the name of YaHuWaH. And I have many teachings on this that you can find on the internet and that we can offer for you. But what I want you to notice today is that this pattern that's been put before us of the Messiah existing, of him dying and resurrecting, is the pattern of life. Remember what Shaul said in the book of Romans chapter 10. He said, I will reveal him to you. He is the giver of life. You know, we must call on the name of YaHuWaH. I mean, in Acts chapter, in the book of Acts chapter 17, where he said that he revealed the one who is unknown, that he gives all of life, and he sustains all of life. So if that's the case, then this name, I believe, should echo the very pattern of creation, and indeed it does. Because if you look at this man that's in front of you, this man could also represent Adam. Okay? Just keep that in mind. It can represent Adam. Now, what I want you to see is it represents man in general, but in the essence of representing Messiah, it represents so many things. If you think about this logically, okay? Think about this. What came first, the chicken or the egg? That's what I ask most people, because I want people to think concretely, logically. I don't want you to think, what if you didn't even believe the Scriptures? If you don't believe the Scriptures, you have to think logically on this matter. Obviously, the egg didn't come first. If the egg came first, then who incubated the egg? Who nurtured it? Who told it what to be? Who looked after it? And how? I mean, who showed it the model of life? What if, one fragile egg in a situation where it's cold or something could just fall over and just crack it and there it goes. All that supposed evolution that the science tell us would have just evaporated into nothing. But we know that a whole entity was created first. It's only logical. Okay, so the chicken came first, right? According to the old saying. But the reason I'm bringing that up is, in the scriptures, YaHuWaH says that he creates all the trees of the field. That he creates the herb that bears seed and all these different things. And that they bring forth after their kind. Okay? So, for a moment, and let's just pretend that this man is a tree. And the reason I'm going to say that is because we know that the Messiah is the tree of life. We know that the scriptures tell us that he is the seed that would be given. We also know that he's the root. He's the tree. And he is the first fruit. So he represents everything on that tree. You have to understand this. Okay? So let's say it's a tree then. Okay? That the man represents a tree. Now, biologically, when a tree brings forth seed and you stick it into the dirt, it dies. Now you can look this up scientifically. It dies. And when it dies, just like the Messiah died, dead in the earth, he brought forth after his kind. He resurrected, and another tree comes forth. And it continues to bear seed after its kind, after its kind, after its kind, after its kind. And no one can prove to you that it doesn't. There's nothing in historical records that will ever say naturally that an apple tree brought forth an orange. It just doesn't happen. And if it did happen, it would be documented somewhere. But it's not. We don't see it. Okay? Same thing goes for Adam, as I said before. I want you to see this now. YaHuWaH, if he created the chicken first instead of the egg, naturally he created man first. That's what the word says. But I'm just saying, if you don't, if you're struggling with what the word even says, logically man came first. And from man comes the woman. And the woman goes through travail and sorrow and birth pains. And through those birth pains she brings forth blood and water. And the first woman, YaHuWaH, which was the true name of the person that's been called Eve, she brought forth a man-child. And she praised YaHuWaH for that man-child. So we have a man, Adam. Then we have the pattern of the sorrow, the woman. And this isn't anything against women. This is showing that women are a part of YaHuWaH's name, a part of his creation. It's a beautiful thing. And they bring forth through their sorrow, through their travail, life. Another man, bearing seed after its kind. So there we see the pattern of life, just like we saw in the trees, just like you see in the animals of the field, and all these various things. But we see it in so many things, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. And it's taken me this many years to see these things. Every day we have sunlight. The sun rises up in the east and it sets in the west. And it goes away. And there's night. And during the night time is a picture of that time where Yahushua rested in the earth, where he was dead in the earth. And then the next day the light resurrects again. But see, the pagans didn't understand this, so they began to worship the sun and worship the various aspects of the sun. But we understand this, and we do not worship the sun, but it is a sign of the Messiah. The same thing goes for the seasons. The seasons that YaHuWaH has orchestrated all around us. We have the spring season that brings forth life, and the summer seasons, and there's life abundantly in green grass and all these things, and fruit-bearing trees. And then during the winter seasons, everything dies. And then it comes back to life. So we have it again. And the man, the nail, the man. We have the life, the death, the life. YaHuWaH has done these things through all these various things. Even the moon cycles, my friends, all the different things. Even when you go and lay down to go to sleep, you bear the image of YaHuWaH. And when you lay down to go to sleep, you go into a state of perfect rest. And then when you wake up, it's a picture of the resurrection. All of these things show YaHuWaH's glory. And there are many things. Even down to YaHuWaH dividing the waters from the waters right in the beginning. If you look at the word mayim in Hebrew, it's actually made of a mem, a yad, which is that hand again, and a mem. And the mem is a picture of water. It just looks like water, like an M. It's where we get our M, actually. And you'll see that between the water and the water, there's a hand, because YaHuWaH divides it. He brings division. So this is showing a man and the vision also. That YaHuWaH divides the waters from the waters, and he divides the light from the light right in the beginning. Okay? Down to cellular division, friends. Even down to the very small cells that make up our bodies. They divide. They come from one, and there's a division, and it brings forth life. And all things. This is concrete science. Science is supposed to be what you can observe around you. It's not supposed to be abstract theories and things that you think may have happened, but things that you can study. And what I'm telling you, you can go outside right now and study, and it points to YaHuWaH over and over and over. No other name of any other mighty one means this or shows this in any way, shape, or fashion. It points to YaHuWaH, and all those things point to YaHuWaH also. So the name points to the Son, and all the signs around us point to the Son of YaHuWaH.